Now we asked real quickly here. We asked in a previous podcast. We know that the Lions would have lost to the Eagles as constructed. In regards to their injuries, the way in which it would have shook out. If they were able to, with all those injuries, get past the Commanders, it would have been tough. But now we got to ask the realistic question. You see a healthy Eagles team. If the Lions were healthy, do they beat the Eagles? Do they get past them? Because many people still believe that a healthy Detroit Lions football team, Aleem McNeil, Aiden Hutchinson, maybe Marcus Davenport, the odds of him staying healthy were always going to be a long shot. So, that's, here nor there. But you realize, okay, Derek Barnes, Malcolm Rodriguez, Amik Robertson, that would have been a hell of a game. So that
Yeah.
kind of lends to everybody saying that maybe the Eagles and Lions, everybody healthy week one, might be a nice opener at the link there in Philadelphia. But mano a mano, Lions healthy with what the defensive line brought to the table. I think it would have been a slobber knocker. It would have been close. It would have been a chance. I think the Lions would have had a chance to go toe to toe with the Eagles. It would have been one of those great games where it probably would have came down to the wire and who would have made those plays. Maybe Jahmyr Gibbs makes that play. David Montgomery healthy. You realize, okay, maybe the weakness was going to be Taylor Decker and Graham Glasgow. I think that was going to be tough. I think that the Eagles would have feasted. They might have got that turnover. So, in my opinion, it would have been close. The Lions had a chance. They were not going to bash the Eagles in the NFC Championship game healthy. Mano a mano healthy. I think it's a super close game, maybe even overtime. But I think the Eagles' defensive line with Vic Fangio, I think
Yeah.
he's just a little bit more experienced than Aaron Glenn. I think that if you were able to win that way, it would have been. I just think they're just a little bit better on the defensive line. It's not a knock on the line. It's just credit to the Eagles. They built a ferocious team, and they also dealt with injuries too. You also got to remember N'Kobe Dean. You also got to remember Brandon Graham. Healthy, mano a mano. Would have loved to have seen it. We got cheated, Lions, and your injuries, but it would have been close. But I give the slight edge, 1 point win, 37-36, 40-39, whatever you want to look at, 28-27. I think the Eagles were basically 1 point better than the Lions.
Yeah, no, I think that's completely fair. Look, the Lions, when healthy, had what it took. Like they had a lot of the pieces to compete with a team like the Eagles. But I do think watching like that version of the Eagles that we saw last night, I think
Oof.
would they would
Unstoppable.
take. Yeah, I don't think they would blow the Lions out, but I don't think 10 points is out of the realm of possibility. Just the Chiefs were completely flummoxed. Like they had no answers up front, and so the answer was to try to roll Mahomes out. And you didn't see the Lions rolling Jared Goff out a whole lot. Like he'll do the play action thing, but as far as like bootlegs and things like that, didn't see a ton of that. And so I just think that the way it would have went down was the Lions could keep pace early, or they would have to rally late. It kind of, you know what? I think the best comparison would be the Bills game. Like I think the Lions would at some point find a groove offensively and be able to score, but I think they would be playing from behind. And I do think that having a healthy defense would kind of limit the production. But look at what the Eagles were able to do, even with Saquon Barkley being effectively neutralized in the run game. I think he had like 2.3 yards per carry. Um, and they were still able to just hit big plays, and they were attacking. You know what it was? They were attacking the man coverage out on the edges with guys like AJ Brown, and then they hit the big one to Devontae Smith. Like the Lions play a ton of man to man, and obviously it probably would have been Carlton Davis in this world where everybody's healthy lined up against AJ Brown, and then Terrion Arnold against Devontae Smith. And I don't know how that goes. I think the Eagles hit big plays, and then obviously Hurts's ability to run is a game changer. So I think the Eagles were a little bit more well rounded, and I think the Lions were there, like they could compete with the Eagles. But I think that on that stage, even with both teams healthy, the Eagles win, and I think they win it fairly comfortably, somewhere in the 7 to 10 point range. I think.